He was so good the first time. We have Mr. Zaya Younan back for episode 2. I call him Mr. Septimo, the king of cigars. He's also the king in another industry, liquor and spirits. He has wine, tequila, whiskey, gin, you name it. We talk success, we talk business, we talk life, we talk investments. No cars today, but plenty of cigars. You gotta check this out. Let's go. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to learn from other successful entrepreneurs that have already done it, this is the episode for you. I mean, just look at this place they're in right now. Wasn't created by sitting at home and just being on the couch. Have you ever seen this many cigars before? I'm pretty sure that this humidor holds over 1 million sticks. 1 million cigars in this humidor. I think it's the largest humidor in North America. This is the manliest I've ever felt on a Friday morning. I said, God.
I'm 62 years old. No one can beat me except lack of my own performance.
I love it.
First go create the product and then we determine if you're gonna make money or not. Right?
Let's say you have passion, but no connections or money or whatever. What's the next step?
The dangers of doing too many things simultaneously, you could lose a lot of details. So you have to focus on it.
One of my flaws is I try to do so many different things.
Actually, it's not a flaw, it's a blessing.
Zaya 2.0, episode 2.
A cigar, if it's not made properly, it could be very harmful for you.
Yeah.
It could have nitrate and ammonia in it, which combustions with oxygen because nitrogen dioxide, ammonia dioxide. So it's actually harmful for your body. We are the only cigar maker in the world, El Septimo is, that has achieved double Grand Reserve status.
What does that even mean?
Double Grand Reserve means a rarest tobacco in the world you use.
Oh.
The longest fermentation is 2 months. You do fermentation past 1 year.
Yeah.
The average aging is 1 to 3 years. We age 5 to 15 years. We are the only cigar company that not only we have our own cigars, but we have a portfolio of wines and spirit.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you, because clearly we have a lot of them right here, but I've had the vodka before, amazing, cognac, but these whiskeys are new?
We have 40 different wines, 15 different cognac. We have more different cognac than Hennessy.
That's crazy.
We have 2 whiskey, Japanese whiskey and Scottish whiskey, and we have a gin. And a vodka, which obviously is one of the
I love how when you want something, you're like, I'm not gonna go buy it or anything, I'm just gonna make the best version of it. Can I pour some?
Absolutely. So you're doing a Japanese style whiskey. This is a Scottish style whiskey. And the Japanese has a Japanese inherent profile.
Yeah.
Very smooth, easy to drink. Whiskey and Scotch are made by rye and wheat. And rye and wheat don't have a lot of specific aroma profiles or taste profiles.
It smells phenomenal.
So, but in this one, in our whiskey, you will smell a little fruit. And it comes up from the fact that after we made the whiskey, we aged it further in our cognac barrels. And we let them pick up some of the sweetness, some of the smell and aroma of the grapes from the cognac. And that's, I smell it actually.
Yeah, I can smell it from here, yeah.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
I'm telling you, this is the manliest I've ever felt on a Friday morning. I said, God. That's great. I swear, I actually think I might like it neat. I had it on ice. It was cold a couple days ago. I think I kind of like it.
Actually, it's good for you to put a little piece of ice, just a little, or a couple drops of cold water to open it up.
When you're launching a new product, I mean, you've launched plenty of products. What's the biggest secret or key to it? You know what I mean? Is it collaborating with different people, bringing in people that are already in that field? Do you just do a bunch of research? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh no, if you are going to create a product, everything has to come from you, right? If you depend on other people's comments, how do you know which comment works or not? So the best way is for you to educate yourself. Like I have to educate myself about wine when I get into the wine. Same with vodka, whiskey, cognac, gin, right? I have to educate myself to the point that I could sit with the guy who's been making these for 50 years and I could have an intellectual conversation with them. So you have to become expert at it, right? You have to have a passion, a desire.
Other cigar companies probably hate you.
You know,
like,
they absolutely do. There is an old Chinese saying, he's saying, if I can't get myself up to your level, I try to pull you down to my level. You know, look, I'm 62 years old and no one can beat me except lack of my own performance.
I love it.
The first company I worked for is General Motors, and my first 800 patents were at General Motors while I was working for General Motors. Patents in the field of airbag crash sensor, patents in the field of VTS, variable temperature seat, keyless entry system, RF radio frequency, PDS, part distance control. And after that, I developed some of my own company, Pronounce Technology. I developed a phrase force interactive navigation system, lock ring in oil and gas business. Crazy. I developed a first inner tube connection with adhesive under the water for pipes. NetTrue Communication, the company that developed a first VoIP, voice over internet protocol. CyberView, the first company that patented the IP for gaming technology, internet protocol for gaming technology, and on and on and on.
That's crazy. Yeah. So if you had advice to someone who wants to create something in the world, whether it's liquor or products or film, TV, whatever it is, what's your advice to someone who wants to create?
It's a good question. The first thing you need to have is a passion. Passion that idea is constantly in your mind. A passion that you're thinking about that idea all the time. Passion keeps you going when you're hungry. Passion keeps you going when you're tired. That is something that if you have, no matter what your dream is, it will come true. I've seen this happen time after time in my own life and in other people's life. Right?
Let's say you have passion, but no connections or money or whatever. What's the next step?
Well, if you have a passion and you're sitting talking to an investor, before he sees or he hears your idea, he wants to see you. He wants to
how much you believe in it.
He wants to reach into your soul to see how much you believe in it, how passionate you are. Because when you create a new product, when you create a new company, you will have tons of obstacles. Obstacles you never thought about. Every door that you want to open, most likely will close, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have those passion, if you don't have determination, you're going to get a cold feet.
Yeah.
Your level of activity will drop.
You'll burn out. Yeah.
You burn out. You know, a good friend of mine, Steve Jobs, which I know for many years. First, I met Steve Jobs 40 years ago. When Steve Jobs was dying from a cancer, terrible case of cancer, and he lost so much weight that if you would have seen him, you couldn't recognize him. Up to the time that he was totally disabled, he would go to the office and work.
Really? That's crazy.
Only the time that he became completely disabled of being able to stand on his feet, he went to hospital, and exactly 2 weeks later, he died.
Insane.
That is passion.
Yeah.
That is determination.
If I asked you for advice for me on how to create what I'm trying to create, what would that be?
I see many things that you are a special person, and I know, not think, that you will get exactly what you want to get. You think fast. You work hard. You work fast. You were here yesterday. You pushed me to have this interview today, right? And had I told you no 1,000 times, you still would have had it today, right? That's a very good quality. You have a discipline. I've noticed what you eat because sometimes I follow you on Instagram. I see your posts. I see what you eat, you know. I'm sure you love to eat pizza, but you don't eat pizza. You eat other healthy food.
Yeah.
I see you working out, finding time working out. I see you, for a young person, working so hard that you fit that 1% category. So you do have a passion, you do have a character, you do have a desire, you do have a vision, and that's all you need to pass the first stage, which is the most difficult stage. And I know all your dreams will come true because of those qualities.
I'll start tearing up.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. And I want to give you a specific example. I mean, for a young boy, you get up early, you go exercise, and then after exercise, you eat this ugly food, but happen to be healthy for you. You know, no matter how hungry you are, if I give you a pizza or hamburger, you won't eat it. Right. And I'm sure you want to eat it, but you don't eat it. So you have that strength that say, look, I love to have that piece of pizza, but it's not good for me because the average piece of pizza has 300-400 calories. I'm just not going to eat it. I'm going to go eat something else that tastes terrible, but is good for my body. So you already learn the first requirement. You know, why is it when you go to Special Forces or when you go to Navy SEALs, right? They put you to these terrible training, right? They put you in frozen water. Now, they're never going to fight being in frozen water, but why they put you that? To make sure you have the character and to make sure they amplify that character. Because once you have that character, even being in freezing water, which has nothing to do with fighting, right? They said he's capable to do any other thing that a normal person physically will not do.
No,
Right?
I know, and I always say too, back to even just working out, I'm like, if someone has the discipline to get up every day, work out every day, and eat healthy, just those 3 things, you could do whatever you want.
I always tell people, I said, when they come to me, they say, please give me advice you will give your own son. And I always say to them, I said, I'm sure you have many bad habits. He says, I do. I says, okay, starting today, you're going to quit 2 of them. I said, do you have any good habits? He says, I do. I said, starting today, you do twice more than those habits that you ever did before. He said, what does this has to do with me trying to be a famous actor or famous singer? And I say, first you need to develop your personality and character before you become any famous of anything.
Yeah.
You need to have a strength in mind and a body.
Yeah.
So if you're used to watching TV 4 hours a day, you cut it to 2 hours. That would be painful for you, right? Mm-hmm. And he says, yeah, but what ad would it have? What value would it have for me? Pain and difficulty creates character.
Yeah. Is there an invention that you try to do, or a thing or a company or industry you try to get into that didn't work out for you?
I don't want to be conceited, or I don't want people, because so many people see these podcasts and always you have all those keyboard heroes that they're trying to find something and said, but I'm going to tell you honest to God truth, because I don't need to tell you anything else.
Tell them.
Nor I need you, nor I'm afraid of you. I'm going to tell you honest to God how it is.
Tell them.
Right? I have never set on mind to do something that I felt or halfway or all the way I just said, bad idea, I should have never done it. Honest to God, that's never has happened to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think once you're obsessed enough and you don't quit, you'll win, or you'll get what you want.
I'll give you an example. I give you an example of vodka. One day I came home, I saw my wife was drinking vodka. And I said, well, let's drink wine, let's drink. I saw her drinking vodka. I said, why are you drinking vodka? She said, well, I like it. I like martini with vodka. I like vodka tonic. I like it. And I said to myself, well, I don't want my wife to be drinking somebody else's accomplishment, right?
Drink my fucking accomplishment.
I went to create my vodka. When I created vodka, when I was talking to our blenders, they said, Mr. Yonan, we know nothing about vodka. So I said, so you know nothing about vodka? You don't know how to make a vodka? I said, no. They said, no. I said, well, I'm going to prove you wrong. I know nothing about vodka, but in 6 months, I will have my first vodka out, and I will know more about vodka than anybody else in the world. Research, studying, analyzing. Today is so easy to research something with your iPhone in your hand. Yeah. You can access data and so forth and become exceptional. So it is really important for you to be a special human being in order to create special products in the world.
Oh, they're special.
Yeah.
Some of the best products I've ever had in my life.
And most of that comes not from your brain. Some people might say, well, I'm not smarter than that guy. I think you're all as smart as you could be. The question is how much you want to push that.
Yeah. How obsessed are you?
How obsessed are you?
And you're so passionate. Like, when are you going to be like, okay, I reached the top of what I want?
Why would someone stop in making progress in life when they're capable of making progress in life? What do you want me to do? Sit home, watch TV, play golf, right? I much rather interact with people, make people happy, give them something that they want that they have never tasted, than frankly, go sit, play golf with a bunch of people or watch TV, right? So I enjoy doing this because of the reaction I cause in people. You were one of the influencers on whiskey because I asked you a long time ago, what do you like to drink? And you said you like good whiskey.
I said whiskey, yeah.
And I said, maybe that's not a bad idea for me to get in that market.
I remember asking you, like, why don't you have whiskey? Are you going to come out with whiskey?
Yeah. We have introduced enough good products in the world, and now is the time for us to sit back, enjoy them.
That's what we're doing right now, enjoying it. We're going to try something new. This is called the rapid fire segment. What makes a creative project worth an investor's time, not just the money?
An idea that they never heard before.
Boom. When someone invests, do they bet more on people or ideas?
Definitely, initially on the people.
Do you prefer being hands-on with a vision, or do you trust the people that you put in place?
Well, if it's my vision, obviously I have to be hands-on. If it's other people's vision, then I will follow them.
If someone has a slate of movies like I do, what would you want to see first?
Well, I want to see a movie that adds values to people's lives, right? Right now, you see a lot of movies that are, after you finish seeing them, you forget about them, right? So it didn't impact you. But you don't realize you spend 2 hours watching a movie that you forget about it the minute you stop seeing it. But sometimes you watch a movie that is always in your mind. Mm-hmm. So something that adds value to the people.
3 movies that you can recall that did that.
Oh, absolutely. Gladiator, Braveheart, and old movie called Mission.
Mission.
Yeah.
Nice. At your level, what actually excites you to say yes or no to new ideas, ventures?
The idea itself, obviously. When someone talks about an idea, if I can make sense of the idea and excite me, I say, oh, that's an interesting idea. That turns me on immediately.
Have you made introductions to get projects or ideas funded, and would you ever invest yourself?
Sometimes I invest myself, but I want to make sure that whatever I invest, I understand it, right? Mm-hmm. If I don't understand something, I'd rather not be involved, right? Mm-hmm. And often I recommend other people to do it. Sure.
When a creator has no capital, no money, but a strong IP, what's the first move you'd expect them to make?
Oh, I think utilize IP, right? If you need to have 2 things, money and IP. You don't have money, you have the IP, then you focus on IP. You don't talk about money, you talk about IP. And after people understand the IP, then you talk about the money.
Talk about the money. When someone is raising under a few million, what mistakes do they make most often?
I think the biggest mistakes they make, they're not prepared when they go see the investors, right? It's actually more difficult to get few millions than 100 millions. Because when you go to people with 100 million ideas, they say, well, this must be much bigger than that, right? Mm-hmm. When you go with people who say, I have a project 3 million and it's going to create extra 2 million for you, says, well, I'm not interested in 2 million. That's not enough for me, right? So just make sure you simplify it and make sure you create a deck that has 2 phases in it. Phase 1 is just a very simple deck that gives everybody in less than 20 seconds the entire idea, right? Then you turn them on and then you head in with phase 2, a bigger deck that might take 20 minutes of the time that gives them more detail. The investor will sit down, listen to you. Attention span for investor is very short, right? So if he sit down, listen to you, and you're blabbering for a few minutes, you lost the guy. You lost the guy, he's not listening to you. He's playing with his iPhone, answering his email, right? So always get into, give people elevator pitch. Elevator pitch, meaning 20 seconds, tell them what it is. And in 20 seconds, if you tell him what it is, he has 100 times more ability to remember that, store that. So he will think about that.
What's a red flag for you when someone asks you for money?
Well, I think the first red flag is when he can't answer my question. He will give you an idea, you shoot him a question. When he can't answer it, the first question that you can't answer is completely red flag. At that time, you should get up and leave because this guy is not going to invest with you.
What's a green flag that makes you allow them to keep talking?
By looking at your eyes, by the way he's looking. Often people are looking at few things, right? But when you say a key word, suddenly they focus back on you and they look at you. Means now you have 100% of their attention. At that time, if you even ask him how much money you have in the bank, he might just tell you. So take advantage of that time, and that's the time you should execute.
Boom. Since we know each other personally, I forgot to ask you. You said amazing things about me, but don't sugarcoat it, be critical. What could I improve on?
Well, I think you have combination of 2 strengths. You focus on every activity you have, and you have too many activities, which is great, right? You're doing too many things, and you focus on each one of them. And when I look at them, you fall on each one of them unbelievably. And that is a very special quality you have, right? What you need to do in order to improve is that you need to prioritize these things and see which is the most important one you have. And you need to put more time and effort on that one. Yeah? Not just 5 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day if you happen to meet someone. Spend the entire day. If you don't know who you're going to meet, who you should meet, go find that person. Go find that person and meet them, right? So that is the important things you gotta do. The dangers of doing too many things simultaneously, you could lose a lot of details, right? So you have to focus on that.
It's funny that I actually know that that's one of my flaws is I try to do so many different things.
Actually, it's not a flaw, it's a blessing. It's not a flaw. The flaw happened when you don't realize you didn't spend enough time on each one of them. That's the only time flaw happens.
Yeah, you do a bunch of things as long as you prioritize what's the most important.
Exactly. Exactly. Always, every minute, find out what is the most important thing in that minute.
That could be done.
And spend that entire remaining of that minute solving that. And then go to the next one. And then goes to the next one. Sometimes people come to my office with 50 problems. I said, which is the most urgent problem right this minute? This one. So I said, let's talk about that. Let's solve that.
Yeah.
And then say, okay, let me go talk about the second. I said, we just talked about the first problem. Go fix it, solve it,
and then
come back here, we'll talk about second one.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I have a capacity to remember and execute. I know they don't. So I said, go get that done and then come back to me, my office door is open, then we talk about second one. You know?
Yeah.
He said, well, I have to come on your back office 100 times a day. I said, that means you made 100 accomplishments that day.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time. I appreciate the whiskey, the cigars that I never pay for. They're great. No, actually, I will say when I'm at other lounges, I'll send him a picture of me buying the cigars. I'm like, because I literally can't smoke anything else. You're the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wait, guys, this whiskey, you gotta try it.
Try them.